Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dan Ugaste. I'm state representative in the 65th district, which includes portions of Kane and McHenry County. I'm here today with two of my colleagues to discuss the governor's authority to continue extending his emergency declaration. We are in the middle of a public health crisis, and this has been a difficult time for all of us, our families and our businesses, and my family has not escaped this either. I'm not here to criticize the governor amid this crisis, but to bring attention to the fact that the state legislature needs to be part of the decision-making process. Any additional disaster proclamation by the governor needs the approval of both chambers of the legislature. The General Assembly needs to have a voice in this. Quite simply stated, the Emergency Declaration, or the Emergency Management Act, gives the governor 30 days to use his emergency powers. Beyond that, the statute is silent. It doesn't provide for the governor to extend it, but it also doesn't state how the legislature will be involved. I'm an attorney, and in reviewing cases over the years, I have noticed the courts have used the saying that when interpreting statutes, it can be assumed that the legislature did not intend to create an absurdity. To allow the governor to continue to declare emergency declarations and keep this power for himself and run the government by one person creates that type of absurdity. And I believe we need to go back to Springfield as the legislature and vote on whether or not this should continue. The governor has acted alone in extending his stay-at-home order until May 30th. In doing so, he's bucking a system of checks and balances. We, in our system of government, have this system of checks and balances for a reason. We need to protect them. We need to keep them going forward. I am calling on Speaker Madigan and Senate President Don Harmon to call us back to Springfield to take such a vote. We are currently in session, but session days are being canceled. We need to be brought back to Springfield to vote on this very important issue, if not others as well. And if they don't call us back, before issuing his next declaration, I am asking Governor Pritzker to request that Speaker Madigan and Senate President Harmon call us back to Springfield for such a vote. If we are all truly in this together, the governor cannot continue to act alone in these decisions, and our General Assembly cannot be sidelined and not heard throughout this crisis. As state representatives, we have duties to the people of the state of Illinois and responsibilities to the members of our district, just as the governor has his responsibilities to the state. We need to give voice to those who we represent as well. To ignore this role is to ignore all the people of the state of Illinois. Other state legislatures have found ways to get back to work and to take votes on serious and important issues. The US Congress has as well. They have taken the appropriate safety precautions, and I'm sure we can too. I'm certainly not looking to put anyone in harm's way, but we must continue to function, even in a time of crisis, as a democracy. Now, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Representative and Leader Noreen Hammond. Leader Hammond.
Thank you very much, Dan, and good morning to everybody. I'm Noreen Hammond, the state representative for the 93rd district. The district covers all or part of 8 counties in central Illinois. I also serve as an assistant Republican leader for our caucus. It's a co-equal branch of government, and I stress co-equal. The Illinois General Assembly has the duty to collaborate and to provide legislative oversight with the branches of government, particularly with the executive branch. As members of the legislature, we have actively tried to engage the governor in this process to ensure that we are doing everything that we can to protect the health of the public and to begin the process of safely and responsibly reopening our state and its economy, if only on a regional basis. We believe that it's the appropriate role for the legislature to offer ideas and solutions and work with the executive branch when it needs the consent of the legislature. As the governor, who serves as our state's chief executive, we are also tasked with managing the state's government and the response to this crisis. It's also the role of the legislative branch to serve as a check on the executive branch when we believe that they have exceeded their authority or fallen short. That's why we've spoken out. We've spoken out on the shortcomings of the Illinois Department of Employment Security, the Illinois Department of Corrections on the early release of certain inmates, so many more issues. I'd also like to note that the lawmakers are the ones that are hearing from their constituents. They're hearing from the people of the state of Illinois, the people that sent them to Springfield to represent them. And we're hearing from them on a daily basis. More so even during this crisis, and more often than the decision makers in the state agencies or the governor's office. My office has been closed to public traffic now for many, many weeks. We are here in the office. We are taking phone calls. We are taking emails. We are responding to those calls. We are responding to those constituents. And quite frankly, we're dealing with issues from the coronavirus, providing clarity on what's an essential business, what's non-essential, what was in the executive order, what wasn't in the executive order, assisting constituents with unemployment claims, FOID card renewals, driver's license questions, the litany goes on and on. That's why the governor should be consulting with us, with the lawmakers, and work with both parties across the state. So he can hear about the issues that we're dealing with. And that way we can reflect the diversity of the state and make decisions based on that diversity. We're ready to return to session, as Representative Ugaste said. We want to work with the executive branch and our state agencies and our constitutional officers and provide a balanced budget, a responsible state budget, formulate a plan how we can safely and regionally reopen our state, and pass any additional legislation that's needed to offer support for Illinois families during the pandemic. We believe that if our governor would work in a collaborative, bipartisan fashion to formulate this plan to safely reopen our state, boost the legitimacy and credibility of his response to the crisis. So now I'll pass it off to my colleague, Leader C.D. Davidsmeyer.
Thank you, Leader Hammond. Thank you, Dan Ugaste. I appreciate you helping us put this together. Yeah, I'm State Representative C.D. Davidsmeyer. I represent the 100th District, which picks up a little piece of Sangamon County and all are part, it's including Sangamon County, it's all are part of 9 counties in West Central Illinois. I just want to clarify and make sure everyone understands that what we're talking about here is the governor's authority to go past that 30 days of emergency power, right? Whether you agree with the governor or disagree with the governor, we believe that a separate but equal branch of government, the General Assembly, should have input in the direction of the state of Illinois. As Leader Hammond said, we are the ones who are really the boots on the ground. I'm talking to constituents on a daily basis, some on all sides of the issues. And I think the governor really needs that input. He needs, all this shouldn't be on his shoulders. He does not have the authority after that 30 days. We have to come back to the General Assembly and we have to move forward together. It may be regionally, but as a state, we have to make decisions. Thank you.